Hello, my name is Zoe Perkins, and in this interview, I'll be interviewing Mr. Brent Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson is a composer and a professor at Washburn University and composed a piece called The 12 Trials of Hercules for our orchestra last fall. Hope you enjoy. Today, I'm joined by Brent Ferguson. Thank you very much for being here. So you recently composed a piece called The 12 Trials of Hercules, which we'll be performing tonight at our concert. What gave you the inspiration to write that piece?
What gave me the inspiration? I'd say part of it was Placeris commissioning me to do it. So being commissioned to write a work gives you quite the influence to do it. But actually putting the notes down, it was really Greek architecture that inspired me more than anything. So everything's kind of based off of pillars. And it kind of transformed into the 12 Trials of Hercules in this process after it was already written.
Nice. You said that it was based off like the 12 rows, or the 12 tone,
12 tone rows?
Yeah. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure, yes. No, so that's the basis for each of my pillars.
Okay.
Each section in the piece is based off of a pitch. And none of the pitches can repeat. So It's a row of pitches. And what I do is each section, I take this row and I harmonize it upwards, usually in a major seventh harmony. So you get this kind of Lydian flair for each section. And that's the basis of the whole piece. It's through composed. There's no sections ever come back. Some themes come back over and over again. But each of the sections are independent and on their own, and each of them are based off of a pillar. Some pillars closer together than others.
What was the hardest part about writing this piece?
Probably any time I write for a large ensemble, it's just challenging, period. I don't play a lot of the instruments. I'm a guitar player more than anything. So getting figures to sound idiomatic for the brass, or getting the bowed strings to do something legato is always difficult for me. I'm an electronic composer usually. So this is my first full foray into a whole orchestra work. I've composed an orchestra work before when I was an undergraduate, but never as a professional composer. So it was just challenging getting the orchestration skills again, and remembering everything that my teachers had taught me and beat it.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite part in the piece?
My favorite part in the piece, it's part of the Hydra battle. And that's when it's about halfway through the piece. The snare drum gets an ad-lib part. The speed becomes fast again after a slow section. And there are two themes that are constantly battling with each other. And I kind of thought of it as Hercules and the Hydra. Each time he cuts off a head of the Hydra, more of those Hydra themes pop up in its place. And it was just a lot of fun to write that. It came out easily. Let's just put it like that.
How long did it take you to compose this piece?
It took 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Editing afterwards, about another 3 weeks probably after that.
And what made you decide to want to be a composer? Or what got you into composing?
What got me into composing? It's really more what got me into music. Video games. Video games is actually what got me into it. I didn't really think about music that much. I was about 9 and I played a Super Nintendo game called Chrono Trigger. And I loved the music. It was gorgeous. It was absolutely awesome. And it did things to me emotionally. It was something else. That's what got me into music.
Where does your inspiration usually come from when you're writing or composing these different pieces?
That's a really good question. They come from a lot of different places. I would say it's different for every piece. One thing, it could be a book I've read, and I'm like, oh wow, I want to take a scene out of that and portray it with music. Most of the time though, where's my inspiration comes from, it's really, they're flashes. They're flashes more than anything. I'll hear a melody in my head, I hear a chord going to another chord, I hear a rhythm, I hear something out in the streets, some rhythm of a car driving over a sewer, like, oh, I like that. Or I sample it. I sample a lot. Actually, that's most of my electronic pieces are built off of samples I've recorded in the field. I sometimes will go to a concert and record like a snippet of what they're playing, and that becomes a 30-minute electronic piece for me. Sound, the world, everything is really what